2 Ezra 7 and 14. 2 Ezra 7 and 14. If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. If you don't go through the changes that you're going to go through, you ain't going to never be worth. That's like a child to have everything. They just get everything that they want, and then when they get on their own, they got to go out there and fend for themselves. They don't even know how to do anything. It's going to be buck crazy. Straight insane. That's why a lot of them end up in the insane asylum. A lot of them rich children end up committing suicide. They can't make it on their own. And even the poor. It says, verse 15, now therefore why disquietest thou thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man? And why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal? Why hast thou not considered in thy mind that this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? Say, why don't you think about the future than what you see right now? Then answered I and said, O power that beareth rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the unrighteous should perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, and hope for why? For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the why. Meaning those that done wickedly are suffering certain things, but they're not going to see the why, which is the paradise, the kingdom, everlasting life. And he said unto me, there is no judge above the Most High, and none that have understanding above the highest. No one has the understanding of the Most High. That's what say his ways and thoughts are not our ways and thoughts. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of the Most High that is set before them. It's very key. I can read this 3 times. For there be many that perish. That means they're going to die in this life. In this life. Because they despise the law of the Most High that is set before them. For the Most High hath given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live. We just read it. What on? Do my commandments, follow my law, you shall live, that there you may live. For the Most High have given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. So you gonna tell me that you don't have to follow the law and you're not gonna be punished? Once again, for the Most High have given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him. They didn't follow his laws. Just like right now, you talk to you not under the law. That's why I say you're not dealing with the Most High, because you believe that you don't have to follow him. There's disobedience. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him, and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves. They've been deceived by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways. See, they said he ain't nothing. Most High ain't here. Most High ain't dealing with us. And knew not his ways. What's his ways? But his law. That's his ways, to follow his law. But his law have they despised. To do right according to him, they despise. It's like some of you despise it right now. But his law have they despised, and denied his covenant. Which was with who? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, to the 12 tribes of Israel. In his statutes have they not been faithful, and and have not performed his works. And therefore Ezra's, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things. Behold, the time shall come, we're looking at right now, that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear. Who's the bride? 12 tribes of Israel, 1/3, mind you. And she coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth. See? So we're going to be seen. And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders. Shall see his wonders. So you're going to make sure it's being seen. Second Ezra. Let's see. 3. 3rd chapter. And we'll start at verse 5. 2nd Ezra 3 and 5. And gave a body unto Adam without soul. I mean, he had the understanding. He had the understanding of the Most High's law, such commandments, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, which is his laws, and he was made living before thee. He breathed the laws into him. That's how you become living. So that's why you got a lot of dead Israelites that's running around there right now. Because what? They don't have or believe in the laws of the Most High. It kills me how they believe that you got to follow the law of the land. But you do, but you don't have to follow the laws of the Most High. But let them hit you up with something to make sure that you acknowledge the fact of they're in control. Ecclesiasticus 19 and 19. The knowledge of the commandments, which is the knowledge of the laws of the Most High. The knowledge of the commandments of the Most High is the doctrine of life. See? The knowledge of the commandments of the Most High is the doctrine of life. And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. I mean, that's the only way you're going to see everlasting life. The fear of the Most High is all wisdom. And in all wisdom is the performance of the law. Performance of the law. Wisdom is the proper application of knowledge. The knowledge that you have is to perform the laws of the Most High. And the knowledge of his omnipotency. I mean, beyond our imagination. He's everything. They put him in the box. He's everything. That's our power. Loyah, Loyah. Revelation 19 and 6. And I heard as it were the voice of a great multitude, and as the voice of many waters, as the voice of mighty thundering, saying, Hallelujah, for our power, omnipotent, reigneth. Yes. And there is no stoppage or limit to his power. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. That's the bride. And who's the bride? Israel. Israel is the bride. Symbolic. That's why you read Jeremiah 6 and 2. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. So that's when you see we're not a woman. As a nation, it's just symbolic. Nobody can say, okay, the woman gets married to the husband. That's why you see in verse 7 of Revelation 19 and 7, it says, let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come. Who's the Lamb? Of Mashiach Yahushua. He's the Lamb of the Most High. He was the ultimate sacrifice, the Lamb that was sacrificed for the children of Israel. John, the 1st chapter, the 36th verse. And looking upon a Mashiach Yahushua, I'll read verse 35. John 1:35. Again, the next day after John stood and 2 of his disciples, and looking upon a Mashiach Yahushua as he walked, he said, behold, the Lamb of the Most High. See, that's a Mashiach Yahushua. He is the bridegroom, which is the husband. See, when you go back to Revelation 19 and 7, it said, let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife has made herself ready. And we will more understand as we keep reading. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. And we know the saints are the children of Israel. Psalms 148:14. The righteousness mean what? Keeping the Most High's laws, statutes and commandments. That's the righteousness that he's talking about. But who are the saints? Righteousness of saints. We got to prove it. Psalms 148:14. He also exalted the horns, being the power of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto the Most High, near unto him. Praise ye the Most High. See? Revelation 19 and 9. And he said unto me, write, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. Blessed are they that are called to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Mashiach Yahushua. And he said unto me, these are the true sayings of the Most High. Okay. Hope that we have that opportunity. That's what this is about. That's why Judah got to come up to a higher level to be able to deal with things that's getting ready to go down. That's why it says, Judah says, Revelation 12:3 and 20. Revelation 3:20. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. It's a condition. To him that overcometh can overcome the wiles of the devil. will I grant to sit with me in my throne. We overcome the wickedness of this world. He's going to grant us to sit with him in his throne. Even as I also overcame. He came to this earth in the flesh and overcame the wiles of the devil, and am set down with my Father in his throne. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. So, Mashiach Yahushua, he overcame the wiles of the devil. When Satan came to him, he fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he overcame him with the law of the Most High. Verse 12. Verse 11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Let nobody take your crown. Hold on to what you have. Let nobody take your crown. Him that overcometh, once again, you got to overcome. Will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my power, and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from thy power. And I will write upon him my new name. See? Once again, he said, I will write upon him the name of my Father. You got to overcome. And the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I will write upon him my new name. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. See, why you got to write his new name? Because when he come, he told us this in Revelation 19. And I want to read verse 12. Verse 19 and 12. His eyes was a flame of fire, so Mashiach Yahushua, and on his head were many crowns. All kind of authority that the Most High has given him. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. That's why he got to give those that are chosen in the 1/3 his new name. Because you see how we went from 3rd chapter of Revelation all the way to 19th chapter, give you the understanding of why he said, I will write upon him my new name. He tell you when he come to judgment, where nobody gonna know his name but he himself. But the ones that overcome, that's gonna rule with him, of the 1/3, they're going to eat with him, they're going to sup with him, and they're going to know his new name. They're going to know the name of New Jerusalem. They're going to know the name of the Most High. This is what we're looking for. Look at Revelation 3, 5. He that overcometh, again, you got to overcome. The same shall be clothed in white raiment. You know, the white raiment is the linen, that's the righteousness of the saints. And I will not blot out his name out of the book of life. I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. That's why he that overcome. Look at 2nd Ezra. The book of 2nd Ezra, 2nd chapter. Love this. 2nd Ezra, 2nd chapter, and verse 42. I'll read verse 40. Let's start at 2 Ezra 2 and 40. It says, take the number of Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white. See, once again, which have fulfilled the law of the Most High. Clothed in white is the righteousness of the Most High. The only way you're going to be righteous is to do what? Follow his laws. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. At 1/3 of the children of Israel. For the tribes of Israel beseech the power of Hamashiach Yahushua, the power of the Most High, that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed, or may be sanctified, or made to be pure and true in righteousness. See, Ezra saw all upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Most High with songs. And the Mashiach Yahushua with songs. The first thing we're going to do is praise him with songs. This Mount Zion. You know, Zion is the children of Israel. Just so that's here, but it's still Zion. Judah is the Most High's Zion. And we all come from the waters of Judah. The Most High, Mashiach Yahushua, the Adamites, the Israelites, and all of us come from the waters of Judah. It says. Ezra saw, verse 42, 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter, Ezra saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Most High Mashiach Yahushua with songs. They were singing songs, praise to him. In the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, Mashiach Yahushua. And upon every one of their heads he set crowns. These are the 144,000. 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel. And was more exalted. So he had to be he had to be exalted to be more exalted. Which I marveled at greatly. Ever say he marveled at greatly. Seeing this. Look at Isaiah 51 and 11. Therefore, the redeemed of the Most High shall return and come with singing unto Zion. We're going to come with singing, as it just said, unto Zion. And everlasting joy shall be upon their head. That's the crowns they're going to put upon us. They shall obtain gladness and joy, and sorrow and mourning shall flee away. No more sorrow and mourning. Won't flee away. Isaiah 35. Isaiah 35. It's the kingdom. Isaiah 35 and 10. Isaiah 35 and 10. And the ransom of the Most High shall return and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. Oh yes. It's all here. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra, 2nd chapter, and 42nd verse again. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Most High Mashiach Yahushua with songs. Like we're going to go to Zion singing songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted. As I said, he had to be exalted to be more exalted. which I marveled at greatly. Look at Ecclesiasticus 17 and 10. Y'all still with me? Ecclesiasticus 17 and 10. Okay. Ecclesiasticus 17 and 10. Oh, 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter, come back there. It says, and the elect shall praise his holy name. See? Elect, which is the 1/3. Elect, which who are the elect? How do you prove who the elect are? We didn't. That's why I say you have to know all these different precepts to be able to, when you get to certain things, you can break it down. You'll know. Anyone? How do you prove who the elect are?
I don't think I'm right, but Psalm 148?
That's an old chapter. I mean, I need a verse.
I mean, that's fine.
Anyone else? How do you prove who the elect are?
Psalm 14, verse 14.
Psalm what?
Psalm
Elect.
148, 14.
Psalm 148, 14. Is that what you said?
That's what I said. I'm not sure if it's right.
Oh, you guessing?
Well, it doesn't have the word elect. It has saints, but it doesn't have the word elect.
No, that's how you prove who the saints are. I just proved that. That's how you prove
They are
it.
the elect. They are the elect, yeah.
No. All the saints are not the elect. No. That's for Israel. Israel are the saints. You got Israel that's Gentiles. They're not the elect.
Okay.
That's how you prove who the saints are. Point blank, that's it. Not the elect.
Right.
So no one knows how to prove who the elect are. That's assignment for you. Next time you come online, I'm going to call you out. Prove who the elect are. Wow. Y'all serious, huh? Well, y'all that been on for a while, y'all should know this frontwards and backwards, man. This Israel, mind, elect.
Isaiah 45:4.
What is it?
Isaiah 45:4. Is that not it?
Yep. Isaiah 45 and 4. For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect. That's how you get understanding through the precepts. You don't make a verse say whatever you wanted to say and think it means that. No, that's clear. Israel, mine elect. The scripture that the sister had pulled in Psalms 148:14. That's how you prove who the saints are, not the elect. And the same thing about the elect. It said Israel, mine elect. So that's why when you look at, that's how you get understanding through these precepts, and that's how you bring the understanding about knowing these precepts. That's why you got to study to show yourself approved. Going back to Ecclesiasticus 17 and 10, it says, and the elect shall praise his holy name. Remember, the elect are who? Israel. Israel, mine elect. Okay? Jacob's my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect. You know, that's why when you get to like these verses like in the New Testament, it'll say to the saints, so you gotta know to go to Psalms 148:14 to prove who the saints are. Now, when you get to but people want to say that this book is talking to, the books are talking to everyone, but you go, let's show you, let me show you one right quick. That Psalms 148:14 will not work for. It says in 1 Peter 1:1, Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, Hamashiach Yahushai, To the strangers scattered throughout Pontus. These are Israelites that's not known by Peter. They're strangers like someone that you don't know. That's an Israelite, you don't know them, they're a stranger. To the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, elect, according to the foreknowledge of the Most High, the Father, to the sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of a Mashiach Yahushua, grace unto you and peace be multiplied. So all we're looking for here, he said, these strangers that are scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia are the elect. Now, who are the elect? Israel is the elect. But how do you prove it? You proved it just now when you went to the scripture. Right? So you couldn't go to Psalms 148:14 to prove that, because it doesn't say Israel is the elect. It just say the saints. So, but when you go to Isaiah, it'll say, for Jacob my servant's sake, 45:4, and Israel mine elect. So you got you say the servants. The servants are who? Jacob, who is Israel, and Israel mine elect. So they'll let you know that these strangers that Peter is talking to are the elect. Where we see the elect here that you should already know. That's why it's a lot of studying that has to be done, so that by the time you get to the New Testament, you know that you go back to the Old Testament to get the understanding, because this is what they were taught. They only had the law and the prophets. They didn't have no New Testament. So you got to know the law and the prophets to be able to understand the New Testament, because that's what they were reading from, the law and the prophets. Just giving you understanding of the law and the prophets. Going back to the law and the prophets, which you should already know, which they knew. And that's why the Most High is calling us Judah, to gather the children of Israel together to teach these other tribes so they can know how these precepts go together. That's why I say when you take notes, you got to put on your notes, okay, elect. Bam. The saints. Bam. Who mercy and grace was given to. Mercy and grace was only given to the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. So it'll say grace. It's not given to everyone. Grace and mercy wasn't given to everyone, because most of he don't know everyone. He only know Israel. So you can't include no one in there that he say he don't know. He said you only have known of all the families of the earth. In Amos 3:1-2. Only the Israelites he knows. But see, we got to come out of the mindset of thinking that the Most High is dealing with everybody else. He can't say he came through Egypt and hear the language he even understand. And that's how much attention he paid to them. But here we want to be Egyptians and so forth. Look, Wisdom of Solomon 3:9. Just for this grace and mercy. Because Christians always like to say, I ain't under the law, I'm under grace and mercy. But are they really under this grace and mercy? And calling themselves a Gentile. Wisdom of Solomon 3:9. That they put their trust in him. They that put their trust in him, shall understand the truth. The truth is the law. When you read Psalms 119:142, the truth is the law. When you read Psalms 119:142, and such as be faithful in love, what's the love? You faithful in love, what's the love? Shall abide with him, what's the love?
Keep his commandments.
Okay, how do you prove it?
John 14.
You hot?
St. John chapter 14. Last time.
One number out to 14.
Okay, St. John 14.
What comes after 14? 15. If you love me, keep my commandments.
Okay.
There it is. Very good. So it says, those that are faithful in love, which is keeping of the commandments, shall abide with him. So you're not going to abide with him if you don't do what he say do and keep his commandments. It just ain't going to happen. That's what he's telling you. It ain't going to happen. They that be faithful in love, keeping the commandments of the Most High, shall abide with the Most High. For grace and mercy is to his saints. Right? So how you prove who the saints are? And he have cared for his elect. Anybody else? Anybody else participating besides one person on the conference call? Where the rest of y'all at? Y'all don't know? Okay, I don't want you to answer. Somebody else. Let somebody else answer. Nobody else on the conference call know how to prove the saints and who the elect is. Okay, for grace and mercy is to his saints. Saints is proven in Psalms 148:14, and he have care for his elect. We just went over that in Isaiah 45:4. So that's it right there. Sure.